boy Kamal Hart on the chart, and we're going bar by bar once again. December 12th, 2019. Let's get it. So there's a trend there, and then a big bear move here, and then kind of a pullback to the EMA. So to get it started, I'm looking at possibly a trend through there and another trend through there. I'm gonna have to go kind of quick today because there was a lot of price action. So that leaves us here. You got the failed second entry short. Um, that doesn't look good at all. So we're really waiting to see if we get a retest of these lows right now. This is a lower high. If you want to go short there, I don't know why I didn't, to be honest. Um, that's not a bad trade. I should have went short there. And then this is where I went short. Um, kind of like a failed second entry off the highs, first entry, second entry. Good signal bar, some room to the lows. So I was able to get in and out. And then on my runner contract, all that news came out with the China deal, and um, I got stopped out fast. Luckily, I had already moved my stop to this swing right there, so it didn't really cost me much. But that was a bummer because I was really expecting this touch down here. But instead, we get this huge green bar. And now we got to wait to see if there's going to be some kind of pullback or second entry long. It's kind of, it doesn't look like it now, but this thing is moving pretty fast, 35. So these bars, these happened in 3 seconds, just so you get an idea of how fast this price action is moving. Yeah, all this was 10 seconds. So it's moving way too fast to even get an entry in. We just needed to slow down a little bit. And before we know it, we're right back at the highs. So I would see, first thing I see is that little, this red pause bar. So maybe this is leg one. And if there's going to be a second leg, maybe it starts there. Um, get that pullback. Nothing there. I made a lot of mistakes today, so I'm going to have to do some explaining, but we'll get there when we get there. So all this, I'm looking at it like, I want to get, well, at these highs, actually, I was really thinking about getting short because I was assuming, okay, maybe this is a range, but this thing just kept going higher. But when I saw this red bar, I went short. It was just a big, strong red bar. Um, I actually got in on a limit order, so that helped me a little bit. And I was just expecting it to maybe touch the EMA. But this is a bad trade. It's the first entry off a new high. If anything, you need to wait for a lower high. Um, I was just kind of like, oh, it's moving so fast. Let me see if I can sneak one in. And I snuck in the scalp, but I was not able to get out of my swing trade in time. So I ended up taking a 2 point loss on my swing. So today, right, I literally have a um, a scalp that worked and a swing that fails, and then another scalp and a swing that fails. It's one of the first times that's happened. And if you see here, I didn't do this at the time, but had I have done this at the time, it probably would have kept me out of this trade. If you measure this leg, then put it back on this side, you can see how we're just now getting to that measured move. So that gave you a pretty decent target. But still, I mean, going long, it's just too aggressive going long right there at the highs. We're not even off the EMA or anything. So for the most part, we just gotta wait it out. It's hard to, yeah, it's hard to really take an entry through here. If anything, you know, you can see this little like maybe like it's a spike and then there's a channel. You had a little break outside. So that doesn't help you for any trades in particular. And then here's where I took my second trade. This trade's a little better. It's at least this one's a lower high, but the signal bar is not that great. So, eh. And we're clearly still in an uptrend, so a little early to be going short. Um, it's better than this one was, but it's still not exactly what we're looking for. And I was able to get the scalp, and then I just exited the runner one tick after the scalp, which this would have been a trade I needed to hold that swing, but I couldn't. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Things had moved so fast, and I genuinely, you'll see it in a little bit, but I think I started trading with a little too much emotion in terms of just, I wasn't really down by a lot, but I saw it moving so fast, so I knew that I could catch a swing. And since this was like a news driven move, I'm expecting prices to take some of it back eventually. So I'm trying to get ready for that. But I just kept looking at my P&L today and I wasn't able to hold my swing. I didn't want to pull back and then have to like keep taking trades, which I ended up taking trades anyway. So that's kind of an oxymoron to say it like that, but um, that's what it was today. So there's a micro trend here if you want to count it, a little trend going right through there. Um, maybe that's a break. It's not super convincing. Here's where I made my next mistake because, okay, I'm looking for this pull back down to the lows. But what had happened is that I was just, if I was kind of on tilt, I'm definitely kind of feeling it now. So before it broke, I just clicked sell. Like I needed to wait for it to break and I didn't. And I just clicked sell and it reversed and I got stopped out. Um, next time, just got to exit immediately. You know, you're like, if you do that mistake, you're going to take a loss. Just accept it, but exit immediately. And then if it sets up, re-enter. But um, that was kind of like an operator error. I had my finger hovering over the mouse, and before I knew it, I just clicked and I was like, ah, man, it's not even the setup. So it pushes higher. That's cool. And then here is where I'm looking for the actual failed second entry off this high, first entry, boom, second entry. And then if this is our kind of congestion, it's kind of a breakout of the congestion, 2 legs out. I'm looking for a short right below this bar. We don't get it on that bar, but we get it there. So I entered there on the limit order. And an important thing to note is that the failed second entry closed back inside of this bar. So right there, I'm thinking, oh man, this trade is not, it's not going to really work. So really, I should be scratching this trade, but I let it, I mean, on the next bar, it got me out. So I didn't have to worry too much, but I wasn't going to let it pull back. So on the swing, I just exited one tick before my entry. I was not going to risk a pullback because I was, you know, this is really what this is looking like now, is that we have like a leg up and we're probably going to make a retest of the high. So my around here is where my idea started to shift. I'm saying, okay, I think we're still going to make another leg higher. Um, I just need to see if I can find the right entry for that. Um, and then I don't know. This one was super dumb. I should not have gone short there. Um, I was just, and it wasn't even like super emotional because I wasn't down more than $200 today or like 250. So it's not even like I was freaking out because I lost so much money. I think really what got to me is that I was not expecting this news because I check the news every morning, and when I saw it start moving so fast, I was just like, "Oh man, let me get some of that." And the FOMO, the FOMO helped me make some decisions today, and they were bad decisions. So that was this trade was really dumb. This trade was an accident, but this one for sure was really dumb. So I exited there. But when it made this green bar, see this reversal bar, I re-entered because off these lows, first entry, pullback, second entry. So that's a failed second entry short. So I thought, okay, this will probably be the start of our move towards the high. So I just entered right there, and that one worked out well. And once again, I had an issue with holding my swings today because, you know, although this is pretty fair, it moved 2 points and pulled back, so my stop should be there. But this would have been an easy trade to hold. It never broke below any bars, but I was just I wasn't prepared mentally, so I exited. And then I re-entered here. See this congestion area? We kind of have a breakout pullback entry right there. It's okay. I don't like how it broke above the signal bar, but like I said, we're expecting a test of this high. So, and it's not that big of a bar. So, I mean, the risk of this trade isn't that bad. So I went long there. And another reason that helped me go long is that I was expecting it down here to keep going, and I got stopped out. So this was just kind of me like getting that swing contract back in. So I was able to get the scalp, no problem. And then I had my stop on the highs, so it touched it, but then it ticked through, so I had to wait, and I got ticked out right there. So that was an okay swing, and that made most of my gains back. So that was pretty cool. Pretty cool with that from there. So we're going sideways now. We're going sideways after making this new high. So if you kind of see this as the trend, it was the break and then 2 legs to a new high. So I'm kind of on guard. I'm not ready to go long. I'm not ready to go short either. Ticks higher. Can't really buy any of those. I wish I would have swung this longer because none of these swing lower. So if I was still holding, I could be in still, but I had my target at the highs. I didn't think we'd actually go this much further, which I know for a fact you never know where it's going, but I just yeah, that's going to be one of the things I work on next week is just staying calm so I can execute my swing trades even when the market is kind of going crazy. Um, a little easy, subtle thing that you should see. That's leg one. You have some congestion, and it looks like we're making a leg two. So there's possibly a target, and this would have helped me hold the swing as well. There's possibly a target up there. We push up, another pullback. I mean, all these little small bars, I think aggressive traders might take them. I'm not interested in those. Nothing there. Here's a second entry long. That one gets you. That one does good. So like that's what you needed. See, like instead of waiting on this little small pullback, you need this sort of like second entry setup. That's a lot stronger of a setup. You get the touch of the EMA. That's better. So you could have bought right there. That's not a bad trade. Doesn't go far though, unfortunately. So now we're getting a push lower. This reversal bar. This is a second entry long again. I just don't like how it's going sideways. See how this bar, inside of that bar, inside of that bar. It's kind of going sideways. It's a little risky to go long there. And it's still too risky to go short, even though this is a reversal pattern. Once again, we're just going sideways, so it's too risky to go short either. And see, it's pretty obvious now how sideways we are. So I'm just waiting it out. Gotta wait that out. I can get a line. So yeah, we're just waiting that out until we get a breakout. Boom, there's the breakout. Too soon to go short, but look how we're getting really close to this measured move. That's a good sign. Then now you're getting those consistent red bars. It's a strong pullback. Here's a lower high, but it's right into the EMA. Second entry long if it breaks above here, but it's not that great. The signal bar is not that good. And then it gets invalidated when it pulls back like that. That's not a good signal bar either. So it breaks below. There's the, technically here's a reversal pattern off this high. I'm going to use this high though for now. So that's kind of like our higher low. And then here, I feel like here's a safer short. Yeah, that's just a reversal pattern. It's just a safer place to go short, in my opinion. I don't know if this works though. There were so many moves today. I actually don't remember all of them, but I would see that and think, okay, maybe we'll test this breakout area. If we're lucky, we're going to come to these lows. That could be a nice swing. And that one plays out pretty decent. And now that we're closing below the EMA, I'm probably going to see that as a like a trend. Starting to get a trend now. Somewhere there. Pull back. See, now we're getting that breakout side. So two things I'm looking for is, okay, if that's that line, let's see if we can get equal distance. And that would have us, that'd have us like there. And you still got to break out of there. This would have been a nice swing trade if you took that, by the way. But you get another breakout. So now we're just waiting to see if we get short when it pulls back to the EMA, or let's see how this plays out. Not going to go short down there. You're way too far from the EMA. And let's see. Yeah, so you get stopped out. Let's see if you get it. Yeah, so a limit order, you barely exit, but your swing trade, you're probably going to lose the swing trade. And if you enter on a stop, you lost both contracts. So not where you want to go short. This is going to be a better short coming up here. But see how this, we close above the EMA, closed above a previous swing. Let's just get a line on this. Make sure that if it does reverse, we get like a reversal pattern. That's a pretty strong leg up. That's a first entry to the lows, nothing there. I like how it's closing below now, but this is a first entry to the highs. That doesn't move me. I'm not into that. I need a second entry. Here's the second entry, but this bar, inside of that bar, inside of that bar, it's two sideways, and we're at the highs. We're at the highs of this congestion. So I can make it a little clearer. See, like that would be the high of this little mini range. And here are the lows. So yeah, breakout pullback, but it never closed above or anything. That's not a good place to go long. And it never breaks above, so no harm, no foul. So now we're going to look for that failed second entry. If we get it before the lows, like right there, we got it. I don't like it because it didn't close outside of this bar. It's what you're expecting, but it's not a great setup. This is not. And see how this bar, inside of that bar, inside of that bar? Just for that, I think this works, but I don't think that's the one you should take, to be honest. So we're going to skip it. And it works, but oh well. I mean, look, if you caught that trade, what's the big deal? So let's see if we can get some trend lines on here. I traded a lot of this chart naked today because the way it moved, it was like, man, I have no idea where to draw my lines. So I just, and so on a day like this, right? So it's not that it was so naked, it's that I'm going to use these micro lines instead. I'm going to use these lines over these bigger lines today. Let's see if that gives us anything cool. You kind of get something there. I don't like it. Nah, I'm good. And the only reason why I'm not extending this is because at this point, if this is our trend line that we're using, you definitely had to break off the low side and you definitely have to break out the high side. This trend isn't really going to help you too much anymore. But it's cool to note. Let's just see something really quick. I don't know what's going to be the best way to measure this, but see how we had the breakout on this low side? Maybe let's go from the first place it broke out to its low. And let's see, when you measure that, that's going to be like hard to really calculate. But when you measure that, that's almost a perfect, it broke out the same amount of distance on this side as it did on that side. You know, see, I just put the on the line and then go horizontal and do a little geometry, and you'll see what I mean. But right there, see, that's perfect. So that's a really good sign that this trend is indeed valid, but the way prices are moving, um, these smaller trends are going to help you more. So let's get a bottom on there. Let's see if we can get an idea for where it wants to bounce. Nope. This bar, inside of that bar, inside of that bar, too far from the EMA. You're going short at the lows. Nah, not the place. And it works, but still. Here's kind of like a breakout pullback, and this is a really good signal bar. I think the entry here is the breakout pullback. And since it's such a good signal bar, you might risk it. I don't know if this works though, but yeah, that works out pretty good. This one, I don't like the signal bar, and then the trigger bar, that closed a little too far. Probably have to skip it. What we can do though, which I think it's too late, but let's see, how big is this leg? I'm pretty sure we're already close to that. Looks like we went past it. Yeah, so like that would have given you your target for this trade. But at this point, what's my next target? Maybe you would measure, there's my congestion. I guess you could measure to there and then bring that over. So there's possibly a target way down there for all the other shorts if they set up. That's not a bad entry. Just counting off the highs, I haven't seen a double top yet that I can use. Kind of a double top there, but then that would have been this trade. There's a double top here. I don't know if I like using that. And if that's the double top, this is just a higher low. So it's annoying to skip these trades, but they're not really setups other than they're just bouncing off the EMA, but they're not really set up. So you got to watch them go. Then like here is technically a setup, right? So if we're going to use this as our double top, that was the first entry that failed, and this is the second entry. And if it breaks below this red bar, it fails. So I'm more comfortable going short here because it's a small bar, one, and there's a lot of room to the lows, two. So I prefer this trade than this trade if you were going to take either or. That one shoots off. That's a good one. That would have been a nice trade. Getting that pullback. So, okay, what is this? What are we looking at? It's kind of like a spiking channel down. So let's see if there's another, since it's bouncing off this EMA like 3 times, maybe there's a channel right through there. And another one there. And probably the third one is like off these closes. So yeah, that fits pretty well. So we can use this as our new channel. Um, just the first entry to the lows. It's a really good signal bar. It's off the EMA. It's off the trend line. Um, I think it's really aggressive. Even though like it looks great, it's probably aggressive. I prefer this trade. See that little lower high right here? This lower high, and then it's a second entry short. That's a much better trade to me. Oh, important to note also, this measured move that we measured of this leg, perfect measured move. To the tick. I mean, like, I don't know. That's a perfect measured move. I'll figure out the words to explain it later, but that's perfect. So I'd go short there. I did. This one was cool because I entered on a limit really high, so I was able to get out because I was like, I overtraded today. I'm not gonna lie. This is pretty ugly and disappointing for me. So after I came back to the charts and stuff, I was just gonna like be very conservative. So I got in pretty high and I exited quick. I just exited both contracts with a scalp, which I should have followed my swing rules because there goes my swing, but I didn't. So oh well. So yeah, that sets up. I don't see an entry you can really take. That's not an entry you can take either. Plus, it's not really an entry you can take. So the goal is that you're either in up here and you're just holding the swing, but I wouldn't really sell around here. Getting that breakout. Well, not quite a breakout, but we're touching the low side. So let's see if we get a bounce. There's your high or low. See how we moved past that EMA and we swung past a previous swing. I'm looking at that and I'm saying, okay, there might be something right through there. And we don't have to take longs, but we're just gonna put the line down so that we can see the setups a little easier and hopefully keep ourselves on the right side of the trade until we get the reversal pattern. That's probably the trend I'm using for now. Breaks out of it though, so I would just tighten it because of that range that throws it off sometimes. I would just tighten it to something like there. That's going to be a little more helpful than this one. So I'll tighten it like that. Now we're getting that breakout. It's too sideways to have bought any of that. Let's see if we can predict a measured move though. So this would probably be leg one. And that could be leg two. Doesn't look like it's going to give it to us. And this is fine, you know, because when you look at this trend, you have the breakout, a move to a new high, it's reversing. That's not too out of the ordinary. So let's get a line here. Let's see what that gets us. That was just the first entry. Let's see if we get another pullback. Double top or break above. So basically this line doesn't matter anymore because we're still going higher. I would even say that at this point you could switch up your measured move to that. It's a more clear version right there. Depending on this trade, you might have got trapped. I didn't see it real time, but it looks like it broke above and then closed below. So depending on the order, probably got you might have gotten trapped there. Yikes. It's kind of a tough one. What's going to help you a little bit is that, in theory, there is that trend, a pullback, move to a new high. So it's too risky to go long up there. You need to wait for second entries. And then obviously, um, you would have had your stop just one tick. So in the same bar you entered, you got stopped out. Not much you can do to manage that. That's just how the game goes sometimes. Doji bar. Cool. Um, this is a failed second entry long. These highs, we draw a little trend. And I would say this looks like a really good trade. You never know, but it looks good. And it doesn't play out for you. Okay, but see, it's always, the bread is always in the pudding, or the pudding's always in the bread, or whatever you want to say. But look, so a failed second entry long, and look at the very next bar. This bar breaks below and then closes back inside. Boom, right there. That's our first sign that we need to scratch this trade. We've talked about this all week and a lot last week. When we see this setup on this trade, that's our first sign. Like, this ain't looking right. So you would have had a couple opportunities to scratch your trade, and you did not have to take a loss if you really saw that real time. So keep that in mind on those trades. So now we're just going sideways though. So I'm not really looking to go long, and I think it's too aggressive to go short. Maybe my bias is a little, it's still bearish, but not here, not at these levels. That's the first entry to the lows. It's there, it's a trade, but that's not what we're looking for. Here's a better version of that trade, but once again, it's not what we're looking for. And that one goes though. I'd say it's aggressive. I mean, it's the same principle as why this trade was there. This is just a better entry, to be honest. It's just a little aggressive, but if you're going to play this range, that's not a bad place to go short. A little aggressive for me. Got the breakout and a pullback, back in the range. Nah, nothing there. Right there is a failed second entry short, kind of like a breakout pullback. You might risk that. Doesn't give you much. Once again, right? Boom, right there. You enter this trade on a limit. Nah, you don't even get it on the limit. So you enter this trade, and then on the very next bar, you see a reversal. Nah, you need a, and sometimes it's going to keep going. That's fair. Like, that's fine. But I would say 80% of the time they fail before they go down. So if it does go down, yeah, it might, but it will probably fail. So with this, if I was entered and I'm short here and I see this, I'm bringing my take profits to one tick plus one. And honestly, I probably would just leave my stop where it goes, just because it's pretty obvious you're going to get stopped out. And if I move my stop one tick above this green bar, I mean, it's going to tick one tick above. So that's not really saying much. But those would be your two options. Just leave your stop where it's supposed to be, or bring it one tick above that bar. Boom. You would have got out, saved yourself two ticks. Be ready for the next trade. So this one shoots up, but this is why we use stops, right? This is exactly why we use stops, because you look at all the price action and you're like, yo, maybe it's going to just take a little higher, then it's going to come back down. But like, if you don't have a stop, boom, boom, now you're down hundreds, and it's like, I'd much rather be down $200 or something because I got stopped out there, than be down 1,000 because it jumped in one bar. That bar happened in literally 1 second. So in the blink of an eye, boom, you're down 1,000. Keep your stops where they're supposed to go. And on a move like this, it might skip your stop. So you might sometimes see that your stop gets hit like somewhere up in here. Just depends on when the computers catch up to the orders and stuff. But at least, most times it'll be okay and you'll get stopped out where you're supposed to go. But that happened to me like a couple months ago actually, where it did something like that and I got stopped out like way high. So I had to work back from that. So something to keep in mind. Let's see. Let's look at the overall. What's going on? Kind of got that bounce, but that's what I meant by, when we were down here and we got this news that came out, we ended up taking almost half of it back, and now we're making another leg. So with these news items, volatile moves, oftentimes the market's going to retest all of that. And turns out that it's legit because it's pushing higher, but something to keep in mind. So since today is kind of a messy day for the like bigger trend channels, we're just going to stick to these macros. These macros, for the most part, will keep you on the right track. Another small note about this trade that could have kept you out. If this is our trend line, you got to break, one leg down, pull back, two legs down. So it's just aggressive going short there. I can take that off. It's really aggressive going short there. Now that it's totally different than, in a different way, it's different than this trade, even though this trade didn't really play out the way we wanted either. But this one is fundamentally actually not that great of a place. I mean, I make mistakes. Like I lost, y'all saw the trades I lost. I lost 2 trades back in there. It's like I don't know. There's a few guys out there who I do think are actually pretty close to perfect traders, and I think it's because they've been doing it for like 20 something years, 30 years. So they've just seen a lot. And if you only take 1 or 2 trades a day, you'll probably get them right. But as you try to take 10 trades a day, I mean, yeah, you're just gonna mistake certain setups. So it's fine as long as you have your stops where they're supposed to go. You'll be fine because I could have, maybe switch up the order, but I could have lost this trade, right? But if I win this trade, right, and I get a nice swing from there, you're still in a good spot for the day. If I would have swung traded this, you're still in a great spot. All of these had swings. So you got to keep in mind that take your stop, take your loss, but also follow your swing rules because your swings are going to really make up the difference when it counts. So there's that little, it broke above and then reversed, so that's nothing there we want. And then now it's just getting stacked up. If it breaks above there, you might go long. And then this bar inside of that bar, inside of that bar, inside of that bar, it's getting a little congested, so I'm going to chill. Although I'm still bullish, I don't think I'm going to take a long on the breakout. Yeah, going long there, it's just not the place. No worries because it doesn't break out. And at this point, you're kind of getting like a trend down. And these prices are actually moving pretty quick, right? So like this is barely 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Just from that high to here, it's like barely 6 minutes. So it's not moving slow. I think a lot of this you're just kind of sitting on your hands. I know a guy who probably would have went long there, but it's not the setup I want. And this is expected. If this is our trend, the breakout, move to a new low. It's nothing out of the ordinary with that. Let's see if we get another chance. Nah, not another chance. No, no more trades today. That's it. 12. 12 o'clock. So, um, there were a couple good trades coming down. Um, it was pretty challenging to get long, but like the one that I took up here was okay, and the one that I took over there was okay. Um, let's see. Yeah, those two entries, those were okay. But yeah, once again, it's like not that many trades, but you don't need that many trades. You need one good trade and a swing, and you're doing pretty golden for the day. So that's all I saw today. Really, really exciting day in the market. I need to work on just staying a little balanced when it starts moving fast, so I can hold on to my swings and make thousands of dollars off one swing, because that's what that's what could have happened, especially on this trade. I was in. I just needed to hold that swing. So anyway, that's all I saw for today. I'm not sure if I'm going to trade tomorrow. I might have a night out on the town tonight, so we'll see. But if I don't trade tomorrow, I'll probably still do a review, so it won't make a difference to y'all. But until then, live with that enthusiasm, practice hard, and I'm gonna catch y'all tomorrow. See ya.